might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. We are zooming through 2024. Yes, we are. If you do not know who I am your host of the show and of the channel. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we're engineered to win. This is the Coffee and Kata show, where we're going to review some news stories. We're going to have our cup of coffee, right? And we're going to continue working on our Flutter mobile app development. We are doing our best to do it through TDD. TDD stands for test-driven development. So we'll get into that as we get into the coding portion of the show. But we're going to get to the news portion. Before we do that, if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have the GRC framework video coming out today at noon, premiering at noon, where we're going to be getting into the GRC framework, where it combines the aspects of governance, the aspects of risk management, and the aspects of compliance together into one framework, and we can get a good breakdown of how they work together. So very, very important. Like, even if you are not studying or going into cybersecurity, cybersecurity is all around us, and understanding the different components that make it, it's going to make you better at your job and things that you do. So and also in life, because you shouldn't only be cybersecurity minded at work. You have to be cybersecurity minded in life, because how many times, how many times you hear people getting hacked, their credit cards getting stolen, tax fraud. So it's all about protecting yourself. All right. So we're going to get into our news portion of the show. Let's do it. All right. So let's put our timer up and make sure I'm zoomed in. All right, good to go. Let's switch over. And let's put our 5-minute timer up. So our first story for today is Temu wants to reduce reliance on the US. It's funny how the US always wants to reduce reliance on other countries and other, industries. But now the tables have turned, and Temu wants to reduce reliance on the US. It says the fastest growing shopping site, Temu, is hoping to lessen the dependence on the US market, the information reports, as American lawmakers increasingly target Chinese companies. The platform's US growth has exploded since September 2022 launch. Last year, the US accounted for 60% of its total merchandise sales. Temu hopes to have that figure by next year, per the information, which cites anonymous sources. Refocusing on Europe, the Middle East, Japan, and South Korea could also help Temu slash costs, since it's cheaper to fly goods from China to those regions than the US. That's true. A Temu spokesperson said, while the US market continues to grow and remains vital, its percentage contribution to total GMV naturally adjusts as we expand into more markets. Temu spent millions on advertising and giveaways during this year's Super Bowl. And I tell you, I see Temu ads all over the place. Like, whatever app you're scrolling, you're going to see Temu ads. And honestly, I see some pretty cool products that I don't see readily available here. So, I mean, that's interesting. They have good reason, and especially when you see the builds that are coming out that are targeting China, whether rightly or wrongly. I don't know because I haven't kept up with that. But the TikTok bill that just came out to ban to force TikTok to be sold to a U.S. company, although it's created by somebody else. So you see the reliance on the U.S. for these other companies. Like maybe we shouldn't rely too much on them. So let's go to our next story. So we have Microsoft names a new AI chief, AI for artificial intelligence. Microsoft has hired DeepMind co-founder. That sounds familiar, DeepMind. DeepMind co-founder Mustafa Suleiman to lead its new artificial intelligence unit. Suleiman is one of the several employees joining LinkedIn parent company from Inflection AI, which he started in 2022 with LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. In his role, Suleiman will oversee the development of the Copilot chatbot as well as the consumer facing AI products and research. He said in a LinkedIn post, it's it's the first time Microsoft has unified those AI efforts, which also includes Bing and Edge in one division per Bloomberg. For more coverage on the tech industry, all right, click on the tech stack. Okay, cool. All right, so let's keep going. Small banks say yes to return to office. Small banks are more likely to require employees to be on site full time and may be losing staff to bigger banks that don't. As a result, just 4% of lenders with more than 5,000 workers demand a full time return to office, while almost a third of smaller banks do. According to a survey by Scoop Technologies, at the same time, big banks are getting more of their new hires coming from smaller ones, Revelio Labs say. The data suggests that offering hybrid work arrangements can be a hiring advantage. Hmm, interesting. Wall Street bonuses have continued to decline. The annual cash bonus fell 2% to 167,500 last year after dropping 25% in 2022. New York State Controller, Thomas DiNapoli said New York securities industry has continued to see growth in total employment. So that's interesting. It says small banks are more likely to require employees to return to be on site full time and maybe losing staff to bigger banks that don't require. Oh, okay. The bigger banks don't require the employees to be on site full time. So they're losing employees because they're requiring their employees to be on site full time. Interesting. Just 4% of lenders with more than 5,000 workers demand a full-time return to office. Okay, so this is making more sense. So the bigger banks, they're not requiring their like only 4% of them require their employees to be on site full time, while almost a third of smaller banks require their employees to be on site full time. Which I mean, not only that it would cause them to um like, I mean, naturally, if you work for a smaller bank, you wanna grow because there's more opportunity, more benefits, higher pay at the bigger bank. So it definitely makes sense why the smaller banks would be losing employees to bigger banks. But if you don't make the incentives right, then that's what's gonna happen. So let's move on to our next one. All right. So, oops. Nordstrom clan molds going private. So the family that founded Nordstrom is considering taking the department store private, Reuters reports, citing anonymous sources. The Nordstrom clan, which owns about 30% of the company, is said to be working with Morgan Stanley and investment bank Centerview Partners to test private equity firms' interest in a deal. A similar attempt to go private in 2018 collapsed. This latest privatization effort comes as inflation is squeezing shoppers and the retailer is forecasting flat to disappointing 2024 sales. Macy's is facing similar woes, recently rejected two bids to take it private. So these department stores it's not going well for them, because you can get everything online now. And what's the point of having these big stores? You might say, "Oh, I need something for an event." Well, maybe you should plan a little earlier. But for the amount of people who are waiting to the last minute, they won't keep these stores open for like whenever I go into these stores, there's barely anybody in there. So Before we move on, let's take a quick look at the other titles for today. Hack halts $5 million esport event, which that's terrible. Talking about cybersecurity. ESPN hangs on to college football playoffs. Stalled tax bill vexes businesses. Selena Gomez is a rare millionaire. George Lucas backs Disney's Iger, and tier entire industry could see EV lift. So those are our news stories for today. We are going to get into the coding aspect of the show. But if you have not done so yet, do me a big favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. If you are in need of coaching, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up for a coaching plan with me. Right. And just to mention here first, as the coaching slots get filled up, the free consultations will also be going out of the way. And if you would need to contact with me, it's probably gonna have to be through Minnec because as my availability goes down, as we always say, the price of the brick goes up. So get your consultation calls in early, 15 minutes at no charge for now because it will not always be available. Okay, let's get to work. Let's put 25 minutes on the clock. 20 25 minutes up. And let's switch screens. All right. So when we left off, let's close some things out. So I already have this running. I already have it running in the emulator, so we could save some time. Mm, there we go. So we have it running. And one thing I'm going to do as we wrap it up today, I'm going to create an APK or try at least to create an APK of the file of the application so I can send it to one of my tech barbarians who's working on mobile testing. But here's the app. Let's see. Let's go back to over here, see what else we have to do. So we got up to getting this to pass the other day where it was looking for, see if I can close. It was looking for this key as an alert dialog box. So validate the error, uh, validate the alert is showing. So if we were to say expect and we go with pop up widget message. Um, I want to say that it's displayed or it's present. It's visible. Let's see. Let's do a quick search. So let's see. And that's the thing about you can that's the thing, like, you can just search for exactly what you need to do, and that's the importance of having good critical thinking skills and problem solving skills. Use to produce a finder which only matches if the widget described by your finder is truly visible on the screen. Hit testable. How do you get that one? I don't want to do that. Let's try it like this first. I have to copy this. And I put this in here. Let's try it like this. So I'm trying it like this first. It's not how I ultimately want to code it, but I just want to see if it's going to find it at least. And then we can run this test. But I don't want to use this. We can figure that out later though. Because this is just going to make sure that it's visible. And it says expected exactly one matching candidate, found 0. Let's go with pump and set over here. Run it again. Then we can also see if we can implement screenshots as well, which like, let's say we're building a testing framework for Flutter. I would say on the like make a method on the expectations that if if it fails, then you should take a screenshot of what's on the screen. But that's something that we can always continue to work on in the future. So there you have it. So with the pump and settle, it was able to actually find this to be present. So so it's also about determining when to use pump, when to use pump and settle, which I'm still trying to wrap my mind around. All right, so we'll leave this as is for now. We'll put a little note in here to make it cleaner. And let's move on to this aspect of it. So here it says validate the text in the alert dialog box is correct. So let's say we say expect pop up error message. And if we look at the expect here, inside the alert, we should go for content. So we say the error and then content. How do we do it up here? To plain text. Or no? Let's going to try it as string first. And then we're going to say um, we can take this error message here and drop it right here. And what we could also do is externalize these error messages so that they can use variables and have like one file that's called like messages. And then instead of which, yeah, we'll do that when we refactor. We get it to work and then we make it better. But we'll have these error messages in one file, and the whatever messages, whatever text maybe, have it in one file and then pull them so we can pull it into into the main file as well as it into our test file. So just different strategies to think about. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I'd be missing. I think that's okay. So let's try that. Let's try running this to see what we get. Maybe two string won't be satisfactory, and then we'll have to make an adjustment. So we'll see. All right. Expected. Oh, so this is just a syntax error on my end. Try running it again. Let's see. All right. So expected. So the actual. All right. So it comes with text. So that's why you have to continue to drill down a little bit. Content. So we say as text. We do that. If I say get this content as text, now my question is, what text is it going to get us? But let's run it and find out. That's part of the troubleshooting. It's how we learn because we try different things. Like, oh, okay, so this is how this works, and this is how that works. So if that goes through, then we're going to do I guess another pump and settle, and then we're going to dismiss, find the dismiss, and clear that, and then we have to make sure that all the fields, that the input field is blank, and then all the other fields equal 0. But yeah, we systematically work through each step to, you come across one issue and then, you just keep going. So here we are. So see this? Now we have the actual is text. So now we have to drill down into this. So what I'm going to do is, I wonder if we could do this. Data and to copy data. Let me see. I don't think so. I was looking for this the other day, but let's see. How do we do it to plain text on the other ones? It's just text to plain text. As rich text, text. Okay. Okay. So I think we're looking for. mm, Just say to string. But I don't. I think if I do it to string, it's gonna put all of this as a string. Run it. Find out. That's how we build our knowledge. Like, a lot of times when I'm doing my troubleshooting and my debugging, I'll just throw in a print statement. Like you've seen me do it. I just throw in a print statement to see what's the results, the output that I'm gonna get, and then I make adjustments based off that. Maybe it takes a little bit longer to do it that way, but all right. So yeah, so there goes the text in here. We still need to dig into this a little bit more. Thought I would have to plain text in here. Put data. Let's try data. I think and that's the thing, like rich text is different from regular text. So figuring out the right way to get into the right widget or element that you're working on, it's a lot of trial and error. Like, I mean, every software, like everything that we do, honestly, comes from trial and error. It's just the different, they just apply a different aspect. There you go. So that passes, right? So interpreting the content as text to data, now we pass. So now we want to um, let's make sure that the dismiss button is there. All right, we're gonna say expect pop up, and then that's going to be dot, I guess, action dot. This is an interesting one. Let's say as first. Uh, let's see. There's a first here. Oh, first, where? No, that's not what I want. first widget. Okay. For first widget as text button. And so we double wrap this. Let's say we go with dismiss. If we double wrap this and we say child as text, so now we have to double wrap that, which I'll probably be extracting these to make them like their own variable just to make it easier inside of the expect. But you know, like I said, we make it work, then we make it better, and then data, and that should be it. So if we go ahead and we run this now, we should be able to get the dismiss button to verify that it's there. Then we're gonna have to do another, so we're gonna have to click on the dismiss button, and then we will verify that the everything is cleared out. All right, so that works as well. And we'll remove this from the code. Let's just get rid of it now because that shouldn't be there. We used it for when we were like troubleshooting. So we can get rid of this right here. And eventually I'll get rid of this one too, but this one is more important to get rid of because that's just like junk code that's in there. Okay, so now we're gonna go over here and we're going to say click the dismiss button. So I can already start to do some modifications here. So let's say we do and instead of this, we just say boom. So here we can say dismiss button dot uh, how do I click on that? Okay. Oh wait, tester. Dismiss button dot or what am I doing? All right, so that, and then we're going to say wait tester dot tap dismiss button. See how we do it on the other ones. Let's go to the top. Oh wait, pump. Tester, enter text, and then the finder of. Okay. So, do we have a key? So we don't have a key for that one, do we? Okay. But that should still be found, to be honest. Let's say we do that to var instead then. No. Okay, so let's go with text button. And here we'll have to say find by. Say find by widget, and we say dismiss button maybe. If that works. That works. So await tester tap find by widget dismiss button, and then we should do tester dot pump and settle. And then we want to say expect, and that's going to be the input field. Dot let's see. Total input annual. Okay. We want that field itself to be 0. So as so the one that we actually want then is when you use this, want the evaluate as which. Okay, so that one is going to be text form input. Oh, how do you do this? And this is the part that takes some time, is like remembering what the commands are and stuff like not the commands, but the so evaluate single dot widget as. So we're doing that, and this should match it like that, right? However, in here, we also want to say that, and let's go with initial value or value. Let's try initial value. Not entirely sure. Mm, Actually, no, I want to do as dot. Let's go to initial value. I don't know. Let's see what that is. And let's run it. And then we'll get out of here. Let's see what happens here. We got a good portion of this done too, where we started from up here, and in 30 minutes we went all the way down to getting it to dismiss, and now we're trying to validate the value. And I mean, it'll probably give us an error, but at least we'll see what the error is. So expect was called from. So we need to add some type of wait time in there. Ah, okay. Always using a wait when we do tester. I always forget about that. I'm still not 100% familiar with the await, but let's try running it again. Do one more and then we'll get out of here. I have things to do anyways. The code is a little bit messy, to be honest, but we are learning how to test our Flutter widgets, and then we can use our background in coding to, in software development to make the code nicer. Because like as I'm going through this, I see a lot of different opportunities. I don't like the keys being all over the place. So we'll be extracting those, making it a lot cleaner. Okay, so this says actual, which is different. Both strings start at the same, but actual value also has trailing characters. What are you talking about? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Because clear. This should clear that. But initial value, maybe we're not supposed to be using initial value because maybe that was the value that it had. Hmm, but I want the current state of that field. So if we say in here on changed, that this should be 0. Let's see what the yearly income controller is. I don't know. Something that we're gonna have to figure out, but this is where we're at right here. If I don't work on it over because it's taking the 10 billion, which we had set initially, but we need to get the latest one. And I have to look into it a little bit more to see just how to grab the value of that field. Because it's a text form field. So let's do see. This is my problem because now I'm curious. So let's go over to real quick. Widget get let's say Flutter text form field get value. And that's going to be retrieve text input value. Okay, so maybe just controller dot text. Let's see. Dot value maybe. Gotta figure this part out too. Let me see what that means. The property value can't be unconditionally accessed. Oh, because it could be no. So if it could be no, you do that. And so let's try that. And then we'll get out of here. I promise. All right. So let's run that. Let's see. Expected actual text editing value text, which is not an instance of a string. Okay, so we're getting closer. We should probably do it as text. I can't help it. One more time, and then we're out. Very, very last one. I promise. This is how I end up getting stuck at work a little bit later because I'm like, I'm so close. I just got to figure it out. Um, there we go. Awesome. So that one deserves one of these. We are moving up in this world. All right. So next time, what we're going to do is we are going to do our validation for after we dismiss the alert. All the fields are also going to be reset to 0. And we'll do that. All right. So let's go to full screen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. As I said earlier, we have the GRC framework video coming out at noon Eastern time today. So definitely want to tune in for that. Such good information. I've learned so much going through the GRC framework. Happy to get a better understanding of governance, risk management, and compliance. And I would highly recommend that you tune into that as well. They're not sure yet what we're gonna do tomorrow night. There might not be a show because I'm going to be mostly out of town. So I'll figure that out. We'll let you know. I'll schedule something if we are having something. We will not be having a show on Friday morning, and we will be getting back to going live most likely Sunday. I doubt we'll do anything earlier than that, but Sunday we'll be going live, continue with Terraform, and then I'm gonna continue refining and figuring out the schedule. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, do me a big favor: like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live and drop new content like we're doing today at noon. And if you need one-on-one coaching, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up for a coaching plan. All right. On that note, thank you for tuning in. This is Tech Coach Ralph, and we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.